That's not the kind of check we were talking about.
Oh,
We're talking about Mike check.
Right. I still
Yeah.
take $1
I
million.
just want you- I'm gonna make that really clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still okay with taking checks.
We can manifest
Personal
that.
checks,
Manifest.
certified checks,
Oh my God.
cashier checks. I'll take money orders.
Oh,
I'll take actual cash. I'll take cash. I'll take Venmo, Zelle, PayPal.
she's starting right off the bat this morning.
Good morning.
She's in the mood already.
Yeah, go ahead. Put it
your
on.
intention rocks
Put
on.
your
We love
intention
it.
rocks on.
We love it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Wonderful.
How are you this morning?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I am so in vacation mode.
Yes, I told her to wait until after this morning and after our fabulous lunch. Are you all going to lunch with us this morning?
We got lunch.
Oh, we're having lunch
Yay.
today. I'm excited for our lunch today.
Right?
We got
Yes, Michelle said, because I got in here and I said, is it Tuesday yet? Because Tuesday I leave for
she's
vacation.
skipping Sunday.
And she said, well, you can say that after lunch, after you experience all today has done. So she's okay with me going past Monday, just not Sunday.
Not Sunday.
That's right.
You
And
can't
that's
skip
true.
today.
I don't want to skip today at all.
I know, right? I don't think you were
Yes.
thinking all the way through.
I wasn't, definitely.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you all are here.
Yes, hi,
So
welcome.
excited for
Thank
that
you.
today. Since she won't be bypassing today.
Yes, I won't be bypassing today at all. I'm so glad you're all here.
Yeah, we hope you guys are having a good morning and notice the gorgeous flowers that Jeannie got for us this morning. Doesn't that make you happy?
These are
What are these? Who knows? What is
I
this?
don't know.
That's not a chrysanthemum, is it?
It could be.
It's dyed. It's not the natural color, but
Chrysanthemums are smaller.
Don't they have more? They have more flowers, more flowers.
Okay. So if anybody on the live feed, since no one here
Where's
knows,
Savannah?
what is this?
Savannah will Google
Oh,
that
Anne's
for us.
already looking. Anne's,
Yeah,
Anne's
somebody
taking
take
care of
a,
it.
take a Google image.
Are we on?
We're
We're
alive.
live.
That's
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Anne.
Inquiring minds want to
Oh,
know.
you want to know what it is? We'll tell you later, or Anne will put it in the comments.
Or we'll take,
And
she
she'll
will,
let
we'll
us
give you a
know.
chance to vote on it and
Yeah.
figure out what it is, and then Anne's gonna tell you.
Remember
what
when we asked about the grass at Kansas, in Kansas?
If you didn't see that, Jeannie posted and said, we were in Kansas and this grass was,
It was
Incredible.
just,
I've
it was
never
like a
seen it.
carpet so
I know,
thick.
so that's why we were laying on it, because it was so
Because it was
amazing.
just
Dahlia.
amazing. It's what?
Dahlia.
A dahlia?
You're right, chrysanthemums are smaller, they came up too.
Ah.
Okay,
Well,
so thank
they're
you,
gorgeous.
Anne,
Thank
they
you,
are
Anne.
stunning.
Yes.
The color is one of my favorite colors, hence why we have orange on it.
Yes, we have a lot of orange.
But you said, what kind of grass is this, and what is?
And the first one, my friend Leon,
I
who
mean,
is
is he
actually
your
a
friend still?
neurosurgeon,
He's
and
still
he's
gonna be your friend?
yes, he'll still be a friend after this. He says green. I was like, oh, thank you, doctor.
Wow, thank you so much
I
right now.
appreciate that.
That's true.
Yeah,
So
it
much.
was green. It was very, very green. Yes. That's
Smart
the
aleck,
kind of
but
people we
anyway.
have.
That's our people, those are our people.
Those are our people. If you're not that kind of person, then we're probably not your kind of show.
Yes, the sarcasm runs high at a high level here, which is why we like it. So anyway, we are at the Unleash Your Life Studios, home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington, who we just love so much. She's our mentor all these years, since for me, 2007. Someone asked me, I was like, gosh, let me figure that out. Because I remember being in foundations, so maybe 2006. I remember being in foundations class with Reverend Michelle when I was pregnant with Trey, who was born in 2007. So 2006, I would say.
I started in 2012.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so for a long time, and now she supports our ministry, which we so appreciate.
So-
97.
97,
Wow.
wow.
we got an old timer in the house here.
Love
Wow.
it.
Ordination.
Oh, you're there. in the
Oh wow!
ordination.
How about you, Christine?
23 years.
23 years.
Wow.
See, yeah.
It's a
So
long time.
long timers.
Super cool.
How about you, Cindy?
Since 2000.
2000.
23 years
Yeah.
here. Love it.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Abby, you came in around the time as, oh no, you
Yeah,
came
no,
in before me?
No. Yeah, you're right. That
Around-
was like 2013, 14.
Yeah, somewhere in
It
that.
had to be after 13. 'cause I-
Yeah.
About you,
Marilyn?
Marilyn?
It was like the beginning of 2015.
There we go. So,
So long
Yeah.
time.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
you already.
She's like, I reign supreme. Oh my gosh.
so just for you out there in TV land is to just to know that the group that we have here, we have all known each other for quite some
Long
time.
Mhm.
And yes, so
Right.
this is we're not fly by night.
No.
We're-
And we're coming
we're-
up on our year anniversary of
We
Sofa
are.
Sundays. So
Oh my
begin within
goodness.
ministries and then Sofa Sundays, almost a
Yeah,
year.
almost a year,
Next month
guys.
is a year.
Yes.
So we are going to celebrate.
We will be
seriously
celebrating
next month,
that November 19th.
November 19th.
And
right.
we're probably going to have an in-house
in-house.
lunch versus going out.
Right. We're going to
Just
have
so
in-house
everybody knows.
celebration. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going
That's
to be
our-
really fun.
Thing.
And we're going to be releasing the, just so you know, if there are people that you think would benefit from the cards that we have, we'll be having the decks for sale that you can buy as gifts for Christmas. They'll be ready. And then also the, and yes, Anne, I will take your help on that, by the way. I know, I can feel you being like, I told her I would help her with that. Yes, yes, still yes. And we're also creating a journal book to go with them. So for our spiritual church club partners, you'll get a downloadable PDF. You can download that and have that for yourselves. There will be a printed version that can be ordered, and if you want to order the two things to go with the deck and that for gifts, those will be available for that too. But you guys will get the downloadable version for free just because you're spiritual church club partners. So
All right.
yeah,
So-
that's gonna be great. I'm
We're ready to
excited.
start this show?
I think so. I think we have all the
All
updates
right.
done, all the little announcements done.
Yes.
So yes, and you're starting this
I
morning.
am starting
You
us this
said,
morning.
so I will just go from there.
So in this knowing, in this divine space of joy, of love, of peace, of prosperity, of community, of unity, knowing this one heartbeat, this one breath, this one divine thought, this one divine mind that is God, that is also me and everyone within the sound of my voice and beyond. This is our divine birthright. So I speak my word into the law for the highest and best good of this day, of this time together, and for all, for each and every person on this planet, for each and every leader, faith leader, community leader, world leader, that they are guided, guarded, and protected, that they feel and embrace the divine that is them. I speak my word for peace throughout our world, in the areas where it appears that peace is not present. I know and affirm that this begins with us, that each and every person who loves, who breathes, who gives peace from their heart, that this carries out into our world. And I bless these leaders of all faiths everywhere, knowing that there is only one, many paths, but only one. And for this, I am so grateful. I am grateful for this time together, for this joy, for this effervescent belief and feeling of love that bubbles up through us all. With this, I say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, universe. And I let it go. I let it go to grow. I call it good. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Regina.
Thank you.
Love it. Listen, I'm glad you prayed in because I often forget to, when I pray in, I often forget to do the leaders in the world and the other faiths and the stuff. And you're so good about remembering that. And I always, when we start prayer and you do prayer first, I'm always like, oh, good job. She's so good. And I'm always like so happy that she does that. But I want to say just before we get started, because that brings up a feeling for me around what's going on in our world. And I know that we all feel that no matter what our beliefs about what's happening, we all feel the stress of the what's going on for other humans in the world. And what I want you to know is that while a lot of us can't go over there and stop it, fix it, do anything over there, we can do that in our everyday lives. So if you see something on TV, and this is upsets me when I see those things, and I've been thinking a lot about that the past several days, that's instead of being negative or being upset about it or having those feelings, which we will have, turn it around and intentionally find a way to bring peace and love and kindness in this is the part that you have been given to control with your thoughts and with your thinkings, and this is the whole month of thinking creates that, right? And today's topic is my thoughts determine how I experience life. So while we can't go over there and stop whatever is happening for whomever, we can do that here, and it still affects it over there. So we know this to be true in our teachings. We know that we are producing and putting that out there, and it affects the whole. We understand that. So while it sometimes can feel helpless, useless, not seeing a change right there, we are doing that by our own consciousness. So if we're driving a car and we get mad at the person, cutting us off, we're adding to that in a way. So instead be like, go right ahead. You just go take the lane. I don't need it. I'm good. Go out and find somebody that you can be kind to. Smile at every single person you can possibly share that with. And that's what we can do. That's our superpower in this time when it feels like we can't deal with that over
Yes,
there.
thank you. Yes, that is our superpower.
That is.
Absolutely.
It is our superpower. And
Yes.
that's just remembering to keep them in your prayers, knowing that God is underneath everything, even though we don't understand the whole thing. It doesn't appear that way to us in some things that are happening. That's our part, what we can do.
Right. I think that is really important to remember, that just because something doesn't appear to be doesn't mean that it's really not. So, appearances can be deceitful.
Yeah.
Remember filters? Yeah, just saying. You should see some of the filters I use.
Yes, right? So,
They're awesome.
so while we don't want to stick only on that, I just thought a lot of people are stressed right now, not knowing what to do. And it feels like I can't quit.
feel
I can't stop my
overwhelming.
job and just head over there. Like some people are doing that. They're like stopping what they're doing and they're just going there. They're using all their money. I have a client who said, I'm not investing in anything right now because I don't know what they're going to need over there. So if someone comes calling to him for a need over there, he will send everything he has. So I'm like, wow, that's
awesome. Yeah.
wow.
I love that there's people
because
like
there's
that.
thinking
Yeah.
that thinking is
Yeah.
happening. So while I can't necessarily do that, I certainly have. I think I have more power up here than anything else, and we
Right.
all do. So if we all are intentionally, even just this little crew right here, or anybody listening online, just this little group of us, gosh, the change we can create.
Right.
So
And that's why we do the New Year's Eve at 5 a.m.,
I
not
know
5:30.
this year we'll be on time.
This year we'll
Why
do it
we
at the
thought
right
it was
time.
at 5:30? I don't
Because
know.
we
but
wanted to sleep in. But we
I
do
know.
a world peace meditation
yes, and we
on
will.
New Year's Eve day. And
Yes.
apparently it starts at 5 a.m. So
Instead of 5:30.
instead of 5:30, like
It
So
was
for
our
Sundays,
first time.
does
It was our
everything
first time
different.
doing it ourselves
Yes.
in our own
that's
ministry.
right. That's
So we made
right.
it last long.
We did. We kept world peace going.
Going. Yes. This is how we do it at Begin With Ministries. We keep it going.
Exactly.
What
All
page are we
right.
on for
So
that today?
today's page is 184 in our new thoughts for today. And it is called Choosing Spiritual Thoughts. Thought creates form, but it is feeling that gives vitality to thought, which I was really impressed that this was Thomas Troward.
Where am I?
Yeah, because that was, well, one, it was short,
Oh.
and that alone.
You can understand
Yeah,
it.
and I could understand it.
Do you all
and it
know who
wasn't
Thomas Troward is? Those are-
Judge
yeah,
Thomas
that's what I
Troward.
wanna know.
He, you know,
He's one of our one of the
like the leaders in the New Thought
that
thing.
Emerson followed and
and
was talked with.
Ernest Holmes.
or not
was-
Emerson, I went not
Yeah.
Ernest. Yeah.
Ernest Holmes got his start by interpreting Troward. So that just gives you a little info on,
Because boy, that guy.
because he,
Woo.
anyhow.
So read it again now that
Okay, now that I
funny,
gave all that
it's so, like,
information.
you can actually understand this, and it was from Troward.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thought creates form, but it is the feeling that gives vitality to thought.
Yes.
One, I love the word vitality. Vitality to thought. Think about that. Like that's a
See, it's a feeling word. You know what
Yeah.
vitality feels like,
Yeah.
right? He just didn't say, and feeling is, power.
Whatever.
No,
Yeah, that's like
vitality.
effervescent. That's a good word.
Yes.
Good descriptive word. Okay. I've had a lot of coffee this morning, apparently. My thoughts determine how I experience life, and I have the power to choose my thoughts. I choose a purposeful, abundant, compassionate, and grateful life. No greater miracle has ever entered my understanding than this. Ideas inspired, held in consciousness, energized by the miracle of knowing that spirit lives in me. These are my superpowers.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I haven't read this yet.
Oh.
That's ironic. Isn't that weird? I haven't read the reading.
That's so unusual.
I love that.
In any moment I seek, spirit will animate and enable me to choose the color, texture, and fragrance of my memories. In any moment I seek, spirit will strengthen and guide me to live a life superior to any I could achieve alone. In any moment I seek, spirit will reveal the intensifying value this physical personality will leave behind. Both easy and complex, these thoughts go way beyond wishing as one might when throwing coins in Rome's Trevi fountain. For me, this took time, practice, humility, surrender, and faith. It took quieting a hyperactive mind, teaching it to be comfortable in stillness. Soon I came to realize spirit was the eternal part of me. I knew the life I sought was already mine. I had only to receive. Because of the depth of this knowing, I saturate my thoughts with passionate emotion. I experience my physical life by choosing my thoughts, wrapping them in animated joy and appreciation. Reverend Dr. Mary Gwynn, interfaith minister from Florida.
Nice. All right.
There is so much in this one. I
So
mean,
good.
And the description, like this whole reading has some great descriptive words. I was doing those who are on my Marco Polo get my drive-by blessings. And on drive-by blessings, I talked about this wrapping my thoughts in animated joy and appreciation. Like, I'm going to go back to what Judge Troy's words were with this, the vitality to thought, the feeling in that. That is something that, going through practitioner training, I was really taught when you learn to pray, right? When we use the descriptive words of prayer for the divine and the highest quality of God that we could come up with, those descriptive words were the thing that they kept like on us about, like, what else? What else do you feel to get that feeling in? So have you ever listened to somebody pray and they start using those words and you feel them in your bones, like that vitality of thought in there? Now that is how I want to see my life. Like, I have a lot of descriptive words of what it's going to be like to look out the window from a cruise ship on my balcony
God.
and see the ocean.
She's leaving. She's still in the vacation mindset.
I'm so
It's
in
still
vacation
there.
mode. It's still here.
No, but it's true. When you pray, so in our prayer, in our 5-step prayer, the first step of that is recognize what God is. You want to feel, for me, I always say I want to feel high as a kite. Like I want to feel just so before I go on to the next step. So you use those and you're trying to stir up, because that's what makes the prayer so powerful, is that recognition and that stirring up of those feelings. So yeah, the descriptive words, whatever those are for you, help to get that going. And once you feel that way, then you're ready for the next step of
unification.
Yes, then
right?
I am that.
So
Then you can speak your word from there, because you are feeling the power of that to speak your word. So it's all a part of the, building that up and creating that. That's like a fuel to the thoughts.
And that's not just science of mind or
No.
new thought
Yeah.
prayer. I had a little stint in the Pentecostal church, and the Pentecostal church loves feeling and emoting and that I think I have been in love with pomp and circumstance of religious practice from the time I was a little kid. I grew up Catholic, and I love that too. And I could recite the Mass in Latin. I was Catholic when everything was still Latin. You had no understanding of it, and enjoyed that, and the smell of incense, and that it. Even now, if I walk into an incense store, there's something about that smell. And she talked about that, those memories we can see, we can feel, we can taste, we can smell what a memory is like. So the more we put that into a thought process, right, for visioning, for what we want to see outpictured in our lives. I make the jokes about the vacation, but the truth is that I am working on outpicturing a beautiful vacation, right? Have you ever had a trip planned and all you thought about was what was going to go wrong? How well did that go? Right?
Right.
Let me a little Dr. Phil here. How'd that work out for you? There are those things. So it's important to have those type of things planned in your brain no, I'm not saying that means nothing goes wrong, but no matter what you're doing, you're shopping for a car, what do? Right? You're going to outpicture what it looks like, what it feels like to have that new vehicle or that new house or that new relationship or that new job. You're looking for that feeling.
Right.
And that's what stops the that detail thing for me, right? I can outline what it is I want, but it's the feeling that I'm really looking for.
And when you are looking for it and you're looking for, the mind is really interesting this way. I just sent you something on TikTok about, I think I sent it to you about the cherry picking, that your mind will cherry pick what it wants to show you so that you're right.
Yes.
You all know this, right? So you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is bad, it's gonna happen, or this could happen. Like you're looking at all negative things that could happen. The brain's like, you're right. I want you to be right.
Yes.
I want you to be, so
say yes.
yes. So it just
The
cherry
universe says
picks
yes.
what it shows you. Have you ever talked to somebody who's looking at the same situation you're looking at? All they see is the negative side, and then I'm like, or people say people suck or people are awesome. I have a page on Facebook called Humans Can Be Awesome because I got so sick of people saying, humans suck. I hate people. I would get these feeds of something bad something bad happening, and then the comments would be these horrible things. I'm like, and people are awesome too. And so I made a page that called Humans Can Be Awesome. We can be awesome. So anytime I see something that is promoting that, I send that over to that page. That I just here's proof, or that kind of thing.
Right.
Because we're going to notice what we decide to focus on. That's what's going to show it to us. So your thoughts determine how I experience life, which is what your card says. My thoughts determine how I experience life. Yeah, it absolutely does. If I choose to think about all the things that could go bad, this could happen, your mind's going, okay, and it's going to show you that, and that's your experience. If I think, but what different ways could it go right? Like how many ways could it be amazing? Oh, and now it's going to pick those and show it to you. Now life's wonderful. So I don't walk around spiritual bypassing or just think that the world's everything's perfect, but I tend to notice the great things in my life. I tend to expect great things. I tend to expect things to go well. I don't go into anything thinking it's going to go wrong. And I would say most of the time that's what I get back in return, or it's very mild what happens. Someone else will see a completely different point of view of the exact same experience that I see. And that's amazing to me when I hear them talking about how bad. And I've gotten bolder in my life now where I'll say out loud, or, people are blow up and they can be this. And they'll go, well, okay, yeah, you're right. It can go like, right. And so I just drop little seeds. Like there's another way to look at it. You're only going to get what yeah. Hey, Trey, so I see Anne's hand went up for the microphone.
Well, another aspect of that is I know that if I focus on those things that go right, and if you can fine tune your attention to just small things that delight, if you can find those things, then it's like I can walk around in my day always feeling vital and always feeling upbeat because there's a million miracles if you focus on the small things. And I can say that I completely forgot this for the last month. So not being here has definitely had an impact on me.
I agree.
And that's why it's important to show up at Sofa Sundays.
She wanted to. She wanted
Yeah,
to.
that's right.
Because your life falls apart.
Because your life will
Yes.
fall apart. No, I'm kidding. It
Right.
doesn't. But, you
No,
know,
but-
we're glad you're back, Ann.
Me too.
It's funny that you brought that up. So I wrote a few things down this morning that I was looking at. And one of the things was about look for opposite evidence. Think of the times that you've done it right and you were more than enough. Now, we were talking about the evidence there. This came from my Noom app. I'm on Noom to kind of lose a little weight, and Noom's all about the neuroplasticity of your brain and how you look at food. And one of the things they were talking about in my today's lesson was how we tend to beat ourselves up when we do something wrong. And it's all about I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have ate that, or I should have worked out more, or whatever it is. And it's but what if you looked for opposite evidence? What if you looked for every time you did your yoga practice, or you walked your 10,000 steps, or you chose vegetables instead of cheesecake, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And you built up that in yourself. One of the hardest things I think in thought process is what we think about us. Self-forgiveness, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-appreciation. It's so very difficult, I think, for caretakers, people who want to make sure everybody else is okay, to be able to be there for themselves and allow themselves that I did a good job. So, that's where also our thoughts need to, probably more so than the external people, is the internal person is doing a good job. You're doing a good job. You are doing a good job, and I appreciate you. You're awesome. Do you know that? Do you know how amazing you are? You are awesome, and I appreciate everything you bring to this world. And I so love having you here, and your joy, and your heart, and your love, and your compassion, and your empathy. I so appreciate you. You are why this world works. You are why this world works. Don't forget it.
How'd that feel?
Oh, that beautiful.
Did anybody feel awkward at all when she's looking at you in the face saying those things? So I do have some yeses, some nos, but we don't say that to ourselves enough, do we? And it's awkward sometimes when someone looks us dead in the eye and go, "You matter to me. Thank you so much for being here. Your existence makes it all better." So one good way to practice that is to look at yourself in the mirror and let yourself know just what Jeannie's saying. Let yourself know that, hey, you did a great job today. And here's the proof I have of that. This. But look yourself in the eye. Call it good. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a practice, and then it's a practice receiving when people say it to you, to not be like, "Oh yeah, you're great too, you're awesome." No, don't do that. Say, "Thank you. Thanks for saying that."
There's several people in this room that have been taught how to receive
It's
that.
a practice, right? You didn't have it when it was hard.
It can be.
But I will tell you, when so I've got a child in the room, who's not a child, not much, he's a young man, 16. But like I have noticed lately, like I can harp on a lot of things. Did you take the trash out? Did you do this? You forgot again. You didn't do that, blah, blah. And then every once in a while I'll go, you know what? I need to also let them know, hey, thanks for taking the trash out without being told today. Thank you so much that you came home on time today. Thank you so much. I can see you making those efforts. I can see you're trying to. And what kid do I get when I do that compared to the other kid, right? So it's the same. That's as a mother's point of view. I think if there are parents listening to me, really pay attention to that, because that what you're saying is the words that your child hears in their heads, and that's the voice they grow up, and that's how they talk to themselves. So while I would like to think I'm good at that, I still have to catch myself sometimes, because it's so easy just to notice what's not working because we're so busy. Like, that didn't work. Oh my gosh, that's left out again. They didn't clean up their crumbs. I could do all that, but what about every time they do wipe the crumbs off, or they do? I'm not picking on that. So pick on the things that are doing right. Pick on those just as much as you do the other things.
And not just your children, people.
Well, that's what I was going to
Those
say.
spouses.
Oh, spouses too,
Yeah.
or significant others.
Your
Notice.
significant other, your partner, your bestie,
Well, whoever.
you know, your coworker, your
Mhm.
employees.
And then what
Right.
Jeannie was saying, you can see how that works for other people, right? You can logically see me saying that. But what Jeannie was saying is for yourself,
For yourself,
or
Yes.
turn it on you. Pick on yourself for the good stuff.
right?
Let the other stuff go, because when you pick on yourself for the good stuff, those will get stronger and those will take over, and you're not going to have those other ones anymore.
Not
You're going to get what you focus on.
not to give away too much, but I have this interview coming up next month, and me and my guest were talking earlier today about that visioning, and I was describing how for me, I have a wedding coming up where I will be officiating, and I haven't done a ton of them. I've done like maybe 3, and so that's something that I have like some nerves about, right? And so I'm gonna go back to Reverend Cindy's, who's a good minister. So that, like I have to set myself up for those kind of things, it's like, ooh, I am a good minister. I can do this, and project that out, because it's going to be a wedding with a bunch of people that I've known for 20 plus odd years. So
Yeah.
Michelle and I were both talking about it's so much easier not to be nervous with people you don't know than it is with all the people you know that know your stories.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's, but it's true. It's, we need to be our biggest cheerleaders, and that can be hard. For me, it can be hard to be my biggest cheerleader. I can do it for you, because you're awesome, right? You don't listen inside here, So what I'm telling you is things I obviously need to hear as well. Yeah.
Usually that's what it is. It's coming from inside of us out. And so we need to also reflect that to ourselves. But yeah, everything's beginning within. So if you are doing things, maybe you do some things that you don't like that you do, and you're trying to change those habits, well, stop looking at those. Look at the things that you like what you're doing. Change the thinking around yourself. Notice around yourself how much you're criticizing yourself and how much you're applauding yourself. So change the narrative of what's happening in here is going to change the narrative of what you're seeing in your experience of everything. And we know that logically, but it's a practice. Everything is a practice. Like, write yourself a note that you see first thing. Remember, we're doing this now. We're not doing that. Like, remember, we're going to focus on we're going to pick on ourselves for the good things that we do. Remember, we're going to applaud ourselves today. Remember, I'm going to look in the mirror at this time and I'm going to say some nice things to myself. So like, if you have to write down on your schedule to do that, to remind yourself to do it, I think that's so important, because our normal programming, if it's not that, it takes a lot of effort to shift it to something new, and it takes a lot of practice. So you just set up some things to remind yourself to stay top of mind, so that you're not going 5 days later coming to self-centered, oh gosh, I forgot all about that.
I forgot to do that.
Right. My thoughts. Yes, I'm going to do the thing.
I'm going to do the thing.
Yeah, I'm going to do the thing that we were talking about. Yeah. So as soon as before you leave, go, okay, I'm going to set some things on my phone, remind myself, and see if you can't make that part of the way you do things.
For sure.
Change something.
There's another tip. write down how you would have handled a situation you've been beating yourself up about now that you know better.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so relive that. Now, granted, if I had this, actually, Dakota and I were just talking about this. If I had this time travel thing, I thought, would I do it? Like, would I time travel? I don't know. Because like, what happens if now you know? But anyway, I digress. So, since we can't time travel back to the past and change how something happened, we can take from our own experience how we would have liked that to happen. And in your brain, do you know your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and the story you make up? So make up a new story. You know, how would that happen this time? How would I have liked this to happen? So that can help rewire that situation where we tend to use the bad a little too much on ourselves. Actually, you should never be using the bad on yourself, you know, or anyone else, really, for that matter. But I know it's hard, right? Especially, you know, you've been through the little PQ quizzes and stuff, you know, the positive intelligence quiz, and we're all like, okay, is this my perfectionism? Is this my controller? You know, and we have these titles of things, of personality traits that maybe we possess, or, you know, that operate automatically for us. And then we'll look at it. I know I do. I'll speak for me. I know I do. I'll do something, and then like the minute it's out of my mouth, I'm like, oh Lordy, that was not what I meant to do, you know. And then I like stew on it, you know, in my brain, and then now I'm feeling worse and stuff. Instead of going to that person and saying, I am so sorry, that thing I just said, we erased that. I apologize. That's not.
do-over.
Can I have a do-over?
do-over.
That is
That's a
not
great
who I want to
Word
be,
to say.
you know. And you know, and that way, that takes some of that ache out of it, you know. And sometimes a person will be like, "Yeah, no problem," and other times they're like, "Yeah, that really hurt my feelings."
And then you deal with it.
And then you're like, "Okay," you know. And then you come from that point of humility, you know, humbleness,
Right.
of I didn't mean to be a jerk,
Right.
you know. Can we start again?
I think it was Mary Morrissey who taught the do-over.
Mhm.
That if you have, when you're in a relationship, if you set that ahead of time, it's very helpful. And I remember her telling a story of her son with his wife, you know, newlyweds, and there was something that happened, and it was just an ugly exchange. And he walked out of the room, and then he was like, "That is not how I wanted. I want to be with my wife." So he walked back in. And he said, "Babe, can we have a do-over, please? Can we just start that again? Ask me the question again." And because they were practiced in this tool, I guess, she said, "Okay." And she did it again, and he responded in the way that he wanted to show up. So sometimes our programming, our trigger happens first, right? And then we go, oh, that is not who I'm trying to be here. And so if you set that ahead of time, then they're ready for that, and you're more comfortable to do it too, and it sets the stage differently. So, and the reason why some of that's so important is because when you do have a situation that has happened that you don't really like how you showed up or how it went, I guarantee you that situation is going to come again. Maybe not with the same person, might be with somebody else, but it's going to come again, and you're going to have another chance to do it over anyway. So it's really good to be like, that's bothering me. I don't like how I showed up. How could I have done that differently? What should I have said next time? Or how should I have honored myself better? Or whatever the thing was. Often if you're mad or angry or feeling any of those past emotions, remember they're child emotions, sad, mad, or bad, you're in the past. That's triggered your past thinking. So whenever that has happened, it's not having anything to do with this person. It's your thing. So like, where did I either not honor myself, not stand up for myself, not speak my truth? Like, where is it? And then recognize that next time that comes around, if you can't do it in that moment, next time that comes around, I'm going to do it this way. And you will. It's really cool because you'll kind of set that in there. And the next time a similar situation with that person or someone else happens, you will show up differently because you've been proactive, you've pre-rehearsed for it. So it's pretty cool how we can do that. It's really cool. But I like the do-over idea too.
I like the do-over, yes, or is it the golf term, mulligan? Yeah. So, yeah. And I got one more.
She got one more.
I got one more.
What you got?
Lose the labels. What you do doesn't define who you are. So that's the other thing that
It's a lot to lose though. I got lots of labels.
but there can be time periods where the labels are beneficial. I get it. But a lot of the times we tend to grab the label and then make that the identity.
For ourselves and others.
Yes.
So have you ever sat down and written down all your labels? You ever done that? It's freaky. Because you might be there, well, yeah, I probably got 5 or 6. No, you could fill a page, the stuff that you could label yourself with. It's really crazy. So try that one time. Write down all the labels, every label you can think of that
Like,
you
think
can
about
say
it.
about yourself.
You went to the store, you're a shopper.
Yeah.
Right? You're a
Consumer.
driver. Yeah.
I'm a producer.
Like,
I'm
think
a
about
redhead. I'm a mother. I'm a
right.
teacher.
And
on
what
and
I say,
on and
I'm
on.
a Cancer, you're
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah. Like, you think of all your labels and how you identify yourself and how you would identify others,
That's a
right?
yeah. 'Cause
And
you do that to other people too.
The
without even
fact
knowing.
that we
Yeah.
the fact that we other
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
is a label, and that takes away the unity that we claim we live in.
Yeah.
So getting rid of those labels can be a freeing experience for yourself and how you view those separate bodies.
Yeah, because they are labels. They are not who you are. You know, the truth of who you are is that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. And you're experiencing things through these different labels that you do. But that's not the truth of who you are.
Right.
So it's just when you kind of separate those two things, and that's another practice because we're so used to just owning that, like that's us, but it's really not. It's a separateness that's actually very healthy. And then you start to see other people differently too. You can see them as God in a human experience instead of, oh, that's so-and-so who did X, Y, Z. And is that like, no, stop all that. You know, because biases and prejudices and all that stuff come with a lot of these labels. So I did that. I don't know whose class was that where we wrote down all our labels.
I don't know.
Whose was that? Did you have that?
I
did
don't
that too, didn't you?
remember.
Anyway, I was like, I kept writing. I'm like, oh my God, how many do I know? You're freaking me out. You're freaking me out. Yeah. So, but it's good because it's another awareness. Just the more layers we can take off of ourselves and get, all that off so we can have more awareness of how we're moving through this life and how this thinking thing works. We can create that life we love, which is our whole purpose up here on the sofa, is to help others and ourselves create a life that we just love. We don't need a vacation from it, even though we go on vacation in it. It's
I don't need a vacation. I just love
It's
it.
just we love. It's a part of the life that we love, right? Yeah, it's two different things. Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
All right, so to recap, look for the opposite evidence. Think about the times that you've done it right and you were more than enough. And then write down how you would have done it differently if you have something that you're mulling over that you're not a fan of. And then lose your labels. What you do doesn't define who you are.
And pick on yourself.
Right. Pick on yourself. Pick the
Positively.
good stuff.
Pick on
right?
yourself for the good things. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want everybody to report back next week how they picked on themselves.
There you go.
I want to know about it. And if you're on the feed, you can just tell me.
Yeah, just put it in
I want to hear
there.
about it because that's so fun to me. I love that. I love that awareness. Pick on yourself for the good stuff because we have so much.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what do we have? Anybody have any
What you got out
or-
there for us? Ooh,
Oh, there we
see a
go.
hand. Trey, we got a
Trey,
hand.
We got a hand. We got a hand.
I love it. Oh, we
That's
love
right. That is why we do this. Because we want
it. We learned from you too. We learned
Yeah.
from you guys too. So
We like it.
Well, as you know, I've been dealing with a lot of physical issues in the last month, and that has added to the lack of motivation that I've been beating myself up for the past couple of months. And, finally starting to feel better and finally not in any pain. And I was beating myself up yesterday for not doing anything and feeling really stressed about the fact that I don't have work. And I don't know what happened, but I flipped the switch and it's like, wait a minute, nobody's waiting for anything from you. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anybody any money. You don't owe anybody any work. And if you could just allow yourself to enjoy the fact that, yes, you don't want to be fully retired and you do want to continue to put out feelers for work, but you're okay. You're okay. And you're allowed to have a down day. You've been working for 58 years. You're allowed to have a day where you don't do anything and you can just relax and enjoy being retired until I'm not anymore.
I love that.
Yeah.
And there may be some labels that you have on yourself that make you feel like you have to do that. So
Unmotivated.
when you do the labeling, you'll be able to see like, oh, that one's nope, moving that off right there.
I just had a funny story I thought I would share about affirmations on the mirror and what you want to tell yourself and how you handle it differently. When I first started in this teaching, my sister had just had a drug overdose and passed away. So they invited me to this game night, Reverend Michelle and Lonnie, and it was at Michelle Dannon's house, if you know Michelle Dannon. So not only did I just love that she had Bobby Sherman and a picture of her on her fireplace, but she actually, I went into the restroom and the mirror was covered with affirmations and the toilet was separate, and I went in there and the wall was full of affirmations.
Wow.
And I have to say, I walked out and went, who are these people? And now I'm one of them.
Now you're one of those post-it note people.
Now we're one of those affirmation people. I love it. That's awesome. I love that story. I've not heard that story before. Well, good. I hope we're starting that. Like, stick your cards up there or something. Yeah. We need to have, like,
Exactly.
we need to create like a card holder where they can slide their cards in, their affirmation cards in. Look at I'll just start another business.
Too many.
I'll start another thing. Do you have
Pages
anything
and
for you to
pages.
say? You were saying you like that? Well, maybe Christina and I will create it. We'll create something for it. I love it. They're actually supposed to be to where you can keep them in your wallet. That's why we made them this size, so you can stick them in where your credit card or whatever, so you're seeing it a lot. So it doesn't just get put somewhere. That's actually
You know
why
what
we
would
made
be a
this size.
really good thing?
What?
It's a cover for your phone that they stick in on the
Oh, I
back.
love it.
Get on that, would you?
I will get on that.
All right, cool.
Look at that. Sofa Sunday. Business card holder on the back.
There you go.
I'm always thinking.
Always thinking. Oh my goodness. All right. So does everybody feel complete? We feel good.
Feel good?
So
Is everybody hungry?
oh, they're all on for me. They're like, yeah, we're good. Okay,
We're good.
come on,
Let's
go
bring
have
out. Let's
lunch.
go eat.
All right. Oh my gosh. You guys are great. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Deep breath and let's just shake it out. There's only one power. There's one presence. There's one thought. There's only first cause. There's only God. God is love, connection, joy, laughter. And each one of us is that joy, connection, laughter. We are each that energy. We are each God manifesting so perfectly, so uniquely through this human experience. And as I speak my word into the law, knowing that it can only say yes, I know that as we each lean into that truth, we each lean into the fact that we are here having this magnificent human experience. I know that we recognize, we hold with ourselves that it's our thoughts that are creating the experience we are having. And as we focus our thoughts toward what we want to create more of, what we want to be experiencing, we will have more love, more joy, more laughter, more connection, more of all the things we want in this life, creating that life we love just through that thinking, through shifting that focus through releasing the labels, releasing anything unlike this prayer. And I'm so grateful for this truth. I'm so grateful that the law only says yes. And from that, from knowing that, I am careful with my thinking. I'm careful what I put into the law of God. And I know that it is good. So I release it. And let it go. And together we say, and so it is.
Woo-hoo.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! There we go.
Oh my God.
That's a whole different show.
My corniness comes out.
Right?
So, our spiritual church club partners, I'm working on our website, and I have been putting in bios for us and some pictures of us and our mug shot. Got a
Mug
our
shot.
mug shot on there. We're gonna start taking more mug shots though. Like
There you go.
mug shot.
Where we do it right with no. Yeah.
You don't like this.
Good, like, no, straighter.
Straighter, yeah.
We need someone to take
We
a mug
crack
shot.
ourselves up.
I know, so I
we
hope-
hope that you guys laugh too, but if you don't, oh well.
Yeah, we're a little corny. We can be corny. But anyway, so look for I'll send it out when I've got some changes on there. We're going to be adding some more things onto it. So I'm excited about the changes on our website. And yeah, and if you want to support us, if you're not already a spiritual church club partner, you can go to that website at beginwithinministries.com and you can register to donate to us monthly. And the monthly donations make you a spiritual church club partner. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But if you want to just give now, you can go to that website too, and you can make a one-time donation.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So we appreciate the financial support, however that comes, but we also appreciate people who support us by being here in person, helping us
Yes.
grow this community,
Grow the community.
by sharing our Facebook feed so that more people know about us, so that Facebook,
We really love that.
I know, so that
I
Facebook
really,
knows
really
about
love
us and
that part.
shares us. So whatever you can do to support this ministry, if you're finding value from it, if it's helping you to create a life you love, we would appreciate your support back by just sharing it or supporting us however that you can. We
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Yeah.
We do appreciate it. We appreciate all of you, and thanks for joining us
I
today.
know, because we love doing it. I love
We
sitting up here
do.
with you.
I know. I won't be here next week because I'll be on a cruise. I know that's new to
She's
everybody.
miserable
but
about it. Can
yeah.
you tell? She's so
Um,
sad about it.
I am. Yeah, totally. But Michelle will have a special guest, and when she figures that out, she'll let you know. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. We're gonna go eat now.
Bye.
Where are you going on your cruise?
We're going to